Welcome into DC on Screen, episode 413. Oh man, this is our DCTV news episode. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
So, we've been away for a couple of weeks, unless you just listened to the DCEU news episode, in which case there's more of us. Yay! Quick note, we did talk about it with the DCEU. We're going to do a little truncated note here for you. The full schedule for San Diego Comic-Con is now available for all of the shows we cover. And that's through July 20th through July 23rd. If you are still looking to get tickets, but it's pretty extensive, and we don't really want to spend like 20 minutes just reading dates that you're not going to remember.
Yeah, it would take that long. There's so many, like all of their shows are there. It would just be reciting a schedule at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going or you're interested, if you even have tickets now, if you can still get tickets, I don't know. I knew I wasn't going, so I just didn't even really bother to dig into that particular bailiwick, but
the important part for what we do is give us about 2 weeks and it's going to be, oh my god, here's what all happened.
Yeah, because the news outlets are going to hold back information and leak it out and stuff. It's going to be weird. So I actually like the way I read this headline way more than what you wrote down here.
Gotcha.
Because Jason does the DCTV news and I do the DCEU news. That's how we prep it. And
I do what we would call copywriting.
Mm-hmm. And what I read was Supergirl season 3 gets a racist.
I know how messed up this is. But at some point while I was doing the news, I scrolled up and thought I saw that for a second, and I did a double take with just eyeball double take because I thought I had typed that accidentally. You're not alone.
The real headline though is
Supergirl. I don't know why. It's shaped very similarly when you look at the word shape.
Yeah, Supergirl season 3 gets a recast, which is maybe worse.
You can make a decent villain out of a racist, at least.
Yeah. Nothing's more villainous than a recast.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
In certain circumstances, at least. I mean, Mark Ruffalo turned out pretty well.
Yeah, sure.
And hopefully this will be one of those. But, then again, I'm kind of like, why are we going back to this? But Erica Durance, will replace Laura Benanti as, Kara's mother/aunt when season 3 of Supergirl returns. Andrew Kreisberg says, unfortunately, Laura, who Greg and I have worked with for years going back to Eli Stone, from what I understand, a fantastic show, was unable to continue in the role due to work commitments in New York. But we are so blessed that Erica has come aboard to offer her own interpretation of Kara's mother. We had tremendous success with a former Lois Lane last season with Terry Hatcher. You called that tremendous success, but I digress. We know Erica will continue the proud tradition of legacy actors joining our shows and creating new and exciting takes on classic DC characters. Benanti tweeted, I loved working on this show and will miss it so much. Right now it's time for me to be super mom to my own little one in New York City. Now, it's interesting that Kreisberg said due to work commitments in New York. And then she says, it's time for me to be super mom to my little one. Not saying it's not work, but it seems like two different things they're trying to say there. But
I mean, they're not necessarily exclusive. The way I understand it...
no, they're not.
From what I've heard, Benanti is a little bit of a Broadway darling.
Is she?
That's I haven't verified. I don't know, man. I don't know Broadway darlings from anyone at this point. It's Adam and Eve to me. I don't know. But... from what I've heard, she's got a little bit of a Broadway thing going on. So, and that would make sense, is like she's got this 6-day-a-week job and she needs to stay in New York to be with her kid. She can't ship out for 3 months to go to Vancouver, or she can't ship out for even a month to go to Vancouver. I could get that. Yeah. That makes that can make sense. I don't think what Kreisberg said and what she said are necessarily exclusionary at all.
No, it seems a little bit like it feels like they're just framing it differently.
Yeah,
and
love it.
hey, trust me, I spent a few scant hours, helping take care of my nephew and niece today, and by the end of it, I was ready to put a bullet in my head.
Yeah.
So, I am not saying that that's not work.
Yeah.
By any stretch.
I
love those kids,
two
but
nephews
damn,
we're trying to
dude.
teach to swim right now, and by the end of it, I'm just like, I am done, man. I'm gonna go home and deal with the trained dogs that I have that are about my level of caregiving, and then do incredibly selfish things like catch up on a show. And that's to kind of regroup. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to put on a Broadway production and having a child that I was responsible for it. Insane.
Yeah, it's I don't know what her Broadway thing is doing. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing there.
Yeah, I have no idea what her current projects are. But still, we didn't even talk about Eric.
It might be
Erica Durance. Like that sounds fantastic.
Well, I'll get to her. Yeah, I liked her. But I liked Laura Benanti in Go On.
I did.
A lot.
I really liked her. They
hated her on Supergirl.
Her and Matthew Perry had great chemistry.
Yeah, hated her on Supergirl though. And I like Terry Hatcher on Lois and Clark. Hated her on Supergirl. I don't know why they can't make like Daxamites and Kryptonians talk like normal.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they've run them through a translate filter most of the time. It's really annoying.
So yeah. Anyway,
maybe Durance will bring something new to it, normalize it in some way.
Maybe. I don't know how old she looks now. I still have her in my head as like Smallville.
Well, sure. It's only been
Lois
about
Lane, Erica Durance.
What is it, 11 years or so?
Yeah. I mean, well, you look at Tom Welling, and he's like, he looks a lot different. I'm not going to say he looks old, because he doesn't. He's a little more Clooney-fied.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say that.
He definitely looks a little aged. He's got some gray going on.
Yeah.
I do suspect they cast her for a reason. She's probably going to play the same age as Benanti did.
Yeah.
I doubt they went out of their way to make this not work,
Well, like, facially, they just look so different. Like, they look so... It's like how different Sarah was from the first Sarah in Arrow. It's just like, oh my gosh, you look different.
Yeah. What's going to crack me up is
know.
Something you mentioned, or you alluded to at least, was the idea that, like, I don't even know why this is coming up. I don't know where she fits into the story as is. And that's true. So what's going to crack me up is if we see her again, but it's like a hologram version where you...
Yeah.
Might as well be a 16-bit version of them anyway. And then who the hell cares who she got recast as? Might as well have been motion capture with a voiceover at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
So, we'll see.
It's not as drastic as, like, the old Superboy show recast. You remember that? Oh, my gosh, man. So there was an old TV show called Superboy, and they basically had to recast the main character because I don't remember exactly what it was. They had to recast Superboy. Something like, gosh, what happened? He was like a drug addict or something.
Oh no, I think I have heard about this. Yeah, that guy just kind of went off the rails.
Yeah. I can't remember the names now.
Like some moment where you kind of go, well, season 2's not happening, or even back half of season 1's not happening.
And what's weird is like I used to watch that show when I was a kid. I still need to go back. I need to get all the DVDs and watch that again. I know Gerard Christopher was Clark Kent before. It was after. He was like, I don't know, seasons 2 or 3 through I think it was 2 through 4, maybe. But I don't remember the guy that played the first one. But he had some kind of horrible thing happen.
Why not?
Where it was like drugs or something. I'm sure someone will know. I'm looking at you, Scott.
That feels Scotty.
Squadcast.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Scott.
Right, for me, that's some trivia I ran across at one point. I have no idea about the whole Gestalt of it. I really don't know.
Anywho, I need to watch that show. I'm sure it's awful.
I feel like need isn't the word you want right now.
No, need is absolutely the word I do.
It's the only compulsion that could make that worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
anyway,
this may be proof that you need antidepressants. They calm down OCD.
No, I'm good. If I get on antidepressants, I'm not doing this show. Like,
can't be bothered. I'm gonna look at some flowers.
Pretty much. So this is fun and funny. David Harewood on Supergirl says, "I don't like Cyborg Superman. It's boring."
Almost
they didn't
clapped
really
when I was reading that.
Yeah, they didn't really flesh it out. They didn't really write for the character. They just gave me this rather cheap-looking mask and no costume and said, "Okay, you're Cyborg Superman." But it didn't really pan out. They didn't really go into why he was a cyborg, how he became a cyborg, what his powers were. It was just kind of randomly calling him Cyborg Superman. Yes, sir. Absolutely agree.
100% standing ovation. You get the award for self-awareness.
Now,
in the best supporting actor role.
The scary and sad thing about this is that this reeks of the kind of thing an actor says when they are fired. So I kind of wonder how much of David Harewood we're going to be getting next season, honestly.
I agree. It does have a certain dismissiveness, but you could also kind of get from it that the rest of the back end of that crew is just as confused about how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all just started with a couple drinks that night.
Yeah.
And then they woke up 4 months later and Cyborg Superman was on screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absurd character, and it makes sense that we don't like him because he's bored playing him.
Yeah, and I would be fine if he doesn't want to play him. I would be fine with the notion they actually do just put his consciousness online. He finds his way into the Fortress of Solitude. The character has been there,
sure,
already. Why not? We can pull that off.
Known material.
And then actually just bring in Tyler Hoechlin as Cyborg Superman. There's no need for David Harewood to keep playing him. Let's actually get into the nuts and bolts. No pun intended. Of the character. And
he's
see what he's got to offer.
If you do him correctly.
All right. And that said, I don't want David Harewood to be gone. I like his portrayal of John Jones.
No, absolutely. He's fantastic there. But I do love deeply that he is as disappointed with that portrayal of that name and character as we were. I just kind of wanted to throw him into the writing room at this point. Like anytime you just need Cyborg Superman just on screen, you just ask him what should we do, and he should just tell you, oh, you should just not use him.
Right. So over to the Flash. They've added a writer, and this should be pretty good. I'm excited about this, honestly. Sterling Gates, who's been helping write the Supergirl and Flash companion comics, just got a full-time gig writing season 4 of The Flash. Sterling has one written by credit already in universe for Supergirl's Mr. and Mrs. Mixia Spitlick, which was an odd episode.
It was, but it was clever.
It was clever. Candice Patton has confirmed a season 6 time jump. She was talking to TV Line at the Saturn Awards, where she was named Best Supporting TV Actress, if you care about that sort of thing. She says, "We still don't have Barry out of the Speed Force. Iris is really struggling to deal with that, and she does it in her own way." Patton, with an accent, Patton confirmed there will be a 6-month time jump when season 6 returns. We do get to see a different version of Iris. She's a little bit harder. She's without the love of her life. She's kind of had to step into this role as the leader of the Flash team.
They did this a little bit with her, where they kind of wanted to change what she was up to, and it did work. So I like this addition.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd go back to our previous complaints about Flash season 1. Well, they didn't do enough with Candice Patton / Iris West. Well, they fixed that in season 2 a little bit. I just it feels like we're going into a better territory.
So I guess I'm going to bring this up because even though we don't have it here in the notes, I didn't realize it was so divisive, but I'm looking around for it and it looks like it was like taken away. It was like rescinded, deleted, something, whatever the tweet was. But they put out the title of the premiere episode for Flash.
The Flash Reborn?
Yeah, Flash Reborn, or Reborn, which we actually had a little feedback on. Matthew Ryan Cronin said, just want to say that the episode 1 title for Flash is Flash Reborn. I'm liking my rebirth theory. And maybe. I don't see how they're going to do that.
I would love for that to be a thing, but that's still way beyond the give me the same thing, only different mentality.
Yeah, I don't really know what it means.
Flash does push it a little bit as far as what their show's constrictions can be, but I don't think we're there yet. I mean, we're talking about a show that did Flashpoint Paradox. They're obviously they're not afraid of taking chances.
But they didn't do it at all like the comics, so...
No, but they at least played with the idea of what if we just redid... Well, not even played with. They embedded themselves in the idea of, like, what if we just took these characters to a different place? Fine. But even then, you got to notice they reverted back to the dynamic the show had perfected. Yeah, I don't think we're at Rebirth levels yet. Also, Rebirth is it's nascent right now. It's not there yet.
No, it's not. But the pseudo synopsis that they've done for season 4 that they've come out with kind of hints at, or just outright says that they're gonna be trying to get Barry out of his own nightmare hell or something, which is something that was said was not going to be a thing. I don't know how official any of that stuff was, but it's been the subject of much debate online. And when I've looked into it, things are put out, things are quickly deleted, so I'm not sure what's happening there. And I wanted to address it to some degree, but didn't. I don't, I'm not saying anything happened. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we're at the
It's
mercy
been pretty
of
weird
how these things play out right now.
Yeah. The Flash video VFX is getting tested according to TV Line's Scoop series. A role being cast for season 4 that you have not heard about yet should put the visual effects department to the test. That sounds like a mostly CGI character, something along the lines of Savitar, which did eventually get a practical suit, and it looked way better for it. Later on in the season.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what that means. I don't know what they could be. I don't know if that's the Thinker. In the comics, sometimes he's been known to just be like a humanoid silhouette with ones and zeros, with just binary making up his... I hope it's not that, because that would look really stupid. It looked stupid in the comics.
I don't know. Played well, that could be deeply unsettling. If you're... And the Flash is set in a real-world thing. I mean, King Shark, even, they make fun of them in canon for being... This is kind of ridiculous, right?
I know.
Imagine if you ran across someone who was
I
made
don't
up
have
of
to imagine.
Digits,
I don't have to imagine. I've seen The Matrix.
But I think in a universe as invested as the Flash, that would make sense and be scary as hell. So that's not a bad guess as to who is on board. But I mean, you can have somebody that shows up in 4 or 5 episodes and still pushes the envelope. I mean, King Shark has showed up in 3 episodes? I want to say 3
or 4, something like that. Yeah,
and still really pushed the envelope, and I think was award winning.
Maybe.
I haven't looked up what they actually won the awards for, but man, we
don't care about awards.
What I do know is he looked fantastic.
He does.
It's a good looking shark, man.
Right. Over to Arrow. Stephen Amell confirmed that Manu Bennett is coming aboard. This was at the what was this? Heroes and Villains at Nashville.
Yep.
Said I can report that Manu Bennett is back to being a part of the show, and I think we will see him multiple times this year, which is awesome. He also says we have somebody returning to the show this year that we have not seen since season 1. A lot of conjecture online I've seen, though.
Obviously.
A lot of conjecture online, though, seems to be that it's going to be the maid from season 1. Because Stephen Amell said that he was going to have, Oliver was going to have his own apartment. And if he's looking after William, then he's probably going to need that nanny that raised him when he was a kid.
It's a neat angle. I assume your first thought was Tommy.
No. My first thought was not Tommy.
Was that because of ruling him out because of the last season mention, or?
People assume I want Tommy back, and I don't. I just
I
assume
think
that he's
part of you
coming
wants
back.
Tommy.
The only part of me that wants Tommy back is the part that wants to be right. He wasn't a bad actor, though. I didn't have a
never had a
problem
problem
with
with
him
him.
or anything.
But maybe the Uncanny Valley scene. I'm gonna keep calling it until I feel right about the visuals on that scene in the crossover.
Yeah.
Even then, that might qualify as we've seen him since.
Yeah. He looked creepy as hell in that, though.
But what season was it where? Well, I mean, I don't know. It's when did
we did see him in season 3, I think, in a flashback.
No, yeah, he did get one flashback scene.
Mm-hmm.
I forget Mara's. Was it husband?
Walter.
Yeah.
What was that his name?
Yeah, it sounds right. I think he went into
like
season 2 though, so I think he's probably ruled out.
He's shown up from time to time.
I don't know. We really have to look up like season 1. Maybe go watch it again, which I'm just I don't have time to do.
Walter Steele.
That's his name. Yes.
Walter. What did I say?
I think Morton. I don't know how we got there.
I did not say Morton.
I think we were both trying to make him, over-the-counter pain relievers. I'm not sure what happened here.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Stephen Amell wants Colton Haynes back, though. At the what was this at Heroes and Villains too?
Yeah, there's a lot from Heroes and Villains. What it
there was a fan Q&A, and they said fan asked, "Do you miss Roy being your partner?" And Stephen Amell says, "I miss Colton Haynes' handsome face every single day." And they said, "Is he going to come back?" And he says, "If we end the show, whenever it happens to end, without seeing Roy Harper again, I think we will have made a tragic mistake." I agree. I want to see that guy back as Roy.
And as Arsenal, taking on his ultimate identity. I think it's that was so good.
Sure. So Stephen Amell also clarified some stuff about the season 6 flashbacks. He says there are flashbacks in the first episode that take us back to the immediate aftermath of the events in the finale, which is one of the reasons that I have to shave my beard so I can match up with the finale. There are no flashbacks in the second episode. You know how occasionally over the course of 5 seasons, typically it's been Oliver's flashback? Sometimes there have been episodes where there's no flashbacks, and sometimes we've had flashbacks where we focus on Diggle or Felicity or Renee. I think that's what will happen this year. That will have the occasional flashback. We're not telling a linear story anymore about Oliver's time on the island. We've brought that one full circle. Mark Guggenheim was talking about season 6. Mentor Oliver says this season we're trying to give you a different version of Oliver because of the journey he went on in season 5. He finally got to a place where he was ready to follow everyone's advice and discard the past and move on with his life. The Oliver Queen that you'll meet in 601, he's still the Oliver you know and sometimes love, but he has a different sense of himself. In season 6, I think you'll see Oliver giving the people in his life the advice for a change. He's been through 5 years of being the superhero, and he went through 5 years of hell before that. So he's got 10 years of being 10 years of a very heavy experience to start to bring to bear, and that's something we're interested in seeing more of. And mentoring Oliver as the various people in his life face their challenges. And I saw something else as well that where Stephen Amell was saying that he hoped they would get to more of a comic book accurate Oliver.
A little bit more, socially aware kind of Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd still, and I would love that too. It's just part of his character, no matter how you fall on it. And I do love the idea that like we're gonna wrap up the flashbacks, but they're not gonna be part of the continuing. Like the idea that it's not gonna be linear anymore. That's I think we've earned that after this many years, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that story's been told. It would seem silly to go back and like tell little subsections of that story. And well, I say that, but there might be parts where it works for an episode to tell a little part of that story, but the idea that they're going to expand it to the rest of the cast and try to use parts of that to do that, yeah, that makes sense. That can be good storytelling if you do it correctly.
You know what? I want one episode that's not where nothing's going on, and I want like Oliver to be trying to make dinner, and we keep cutting back to the island to him trying to make dinner on the island angrily, like trying to figure out how to make something.
Just trying to chase down like 2 birds, just to have enough protein to make a dinner happen. Like him and Shadow and Wilson just sitting around like, I'm really hungry. Maybe they have the flu even, and he has to like give them a full meal, and he can't quite do it. But it's around Thanksgiving, and you do it like a thematic thing where like he's trying to make Thanksgiving happen for the current crew, but he can't because he has too many requirements around his life now. So he can't do that. Can't do it in the past. Can't do it now.
Yeah. All right, over to Gotham. So there was a bit of a hubbub while we were gone. Donal Logue's daughter, Jade, went missing, and that was pretty tense. But a bit of good news now. She's been found.
Yeah, that can't be bad.
Like they haven't released any information, like really reliable information, about any of the details of what happened. But yeah, she's back at home. Logue took to Twitter. Thank you all for the love and support. We are good. Casey and I wish to thank the NYPD, FBI, missing kids, and countless others. So, it was looking like a dire situation for quite a while, and looking like probably they weren't going to find her, and then they found her. So,
yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Nothing reliable about details, but either way, it's a couple weeks of just real stress, I assume. So
yeah. David Mazouz was talking recently. Said Bruce really is taking on this vigilante persona and all the things that go along with that, whether it be creating another persona, a public persona. That's also definitely going to be a major part of Bruce's journey this year. His relationship as this other person. Batman is coming, absolutely. Another thing I was worried about was we were going to get to season 4 and the writers were going to go, I think we took it a little too far, too fast. Let's backtrack. And the exact opposite happened. The trajectory is just continuing in that direction. I would say I would know it's accelerating in that direction. It's not going to stop. He also spoke about Selina Kyle as Catwoman. With Selina specifically, Selina is also going to be transforming into Catwoman in a major way this season. I'm not going to say too much about that, but she's definitely going to be making a leap into her evolution as Selina as Catwoman. Bruce and Selina's relationship as we knew it before will really start to crumble because of certain events that happen early on in the season. But Catwoman, prototype Catwoman's relationship with masked vigilante Bruce, that will be a different thing altogether.
Sounds really cool, yeah. So far, I like everything you've said. I mean, I even like the fact that he mentions something I was worried about too, is like the writers trying to pull back a little bit and going, yeah, you know what? We're doing this.
Yeah. Now, he also said at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, he says, Scarecrow comes back in season 4. It's on full blast. I'm really excited. And Drew Powell, Butch, confirmed. He says, it's super creepy too. You're going to love it.
I cannot love that amount. I got so excited when I read that.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted that character back for a while because I thought they did a really neat, almost origin story for him, and I like how they left the character with those demon creatures crawling over the bed and everything. And man, I want that back. And I do just love Scarecrow as a villain.
I know you do.
So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. The cast of Gotham isn't sure what happened to Harley's appearance either, though. David Mazouz says, I'm not exactly sure what they were going to do with Harley Quinn. I know there was talks about it. I'm not in the writer's room, so I don't know exactly what they're doing. I think there might have been a plan to do something in the finale, but like you said, I watched the finale also. I didn't see any direct hints to it, so maybe in season 4.
I kind of like the idea that he was looking for hints, like Easter eggs, like the rest of us.
Yeah, I kind of dig that. Now, DC released a Black Lightning primer So if you're interested or excited about the upcoming premiere of the Black Lightning CW series, but aren't sure what you're going to be getting into, check out the DC All Access new primer on the character covering his comic book origin, overall history, and how he got into the Justice League. We'll put up a link to it. It's actually pretty comprehensive. Moving on. There is something that's been going around, and the back cover art for the heretofore unreleased Batman and Harley Quinn supposedly says, under special features, a sneak peek at DC Universe's next animated movie, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. No announcement, though, from DC has been made officially, and the picture of the art in question originated on Reddit, so I'm suspect. Jason, I believe you're suspect as well.
Yeah, it's just... It's not even... This isn't being covered by reliable sources. It's just...
Everyone is covering this and saying it's happening, but...
But that's all I can find on it. I mean, you look around, too, that's like there's no DC Comics... release, press release, a Twitter announcement, for God's sake. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't so much as have this picture on their Instagram, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't know. Moving on for just a second, Justice League. They did a Justice League live reading, and it's available. It's on YouTube. From Denver Comic-Con, the cast reunited to live read scenes from the episode Star-Crossed. Fantastic episode. Kevin Conroy, Batman, was there. George Newbern, Superman. Michael Rosenbaum, The Flash. Susan Eisenberg, Wonder Woman. Maria Canales, Barrera, Hawkgirl, and Phil Lamar, Green Lantern. And Brian Cummings, who filled in for Carl Lumbly as Martian Manhunter. Young Justice voice actor Carrie Payton, Aqualad, chimed in to play the story's antagonist, Hero Talak.
So
that's
everybody.
pretty cool. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people.
I mean, 90% everybody.
I don't know about that number either, but
well, not on that show, sure. But that's a solid cast for a live reading.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. We'll put up a link to that in the show notes. Back to Batman and Harley Quinn. Batman and Harley Quinn, which comes out August 15th digitally and 29th in hard copy, is going to get a prequel beginning July 31st entitled Harley Quinn and Batman. And after the movie's release, there will be a sequel comic called Batman and Harley Quinn, which will start in October. The prequel will have 5 bi-weekly chapters, and the sequel will get 7. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're going to keep the franchise kind of expanded a little bit. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is cool, too. They are putting out an anniversary box set of DC animated films. It is going to be called DC Universe Original Movies 10th Anniversary Collection. This will be a box set of all 30 films, 5 animated shorts, new special features, and exclusive collectible items. The titles will range all the way back from Superman Doomsday to Batman and Harley Quinn. It's also going to have newly released commemorative editions of Wonder Woman and Justice League: The New Frontier, as well as all of the DC Showcase animated shorts.
Yeah, that's a solid package.
You can expect the 32-disc set to be available on Blu-ray November 7th, with the digital edition being available August 15th. And I don't know how much this is going to cost yet, but probably upwards of $200. I would suspect.
That's a good bet.
I would suspect.
That's a good bet. Now, anyone who, takes out a credit card to buy it, I don't blame you. I mean, wait a few weeks, but sure, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And the digital is going to cost less, probably, so you can just apparently have all of these things on your computer for the rest of your life, I guess, or until the digital age fails us and streaming doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm kind of wondering what is going to be the transfer rate to, like, when WB launches their new site. If I bought something on Amazon that's WB related, am I going to be able to transfer it over there and have it under the subscription?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd be something to look at in the future.
Yeah. It's good. Let's get to listener feedback real quick. Justin Ashby writes to us, what if the 4-show CW crossover with, quote, emotional impact is based on Brad Meltzer's Identity Crisis? I think that would be awesome. I'm not sure how they would do it necessarily, since on these shows everybody knows who everybody is.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm questioning. It's. I feel like we're about at least a couple of seasons away from anything that vague, and it would have to be kind of set up in the season finales of each show.
Yeah, Calculator was involved in Identity Crisis.
Yeah,
but he knows who Felicity and Arrow is. Captain Cold, he knows who Flash is. Like
sure.
all the villains know who the good guys are already.
Yeah.
Now, if they did something because they have done it a couple of times where Martian Manhunter just like erases somebody's memory, all right. Like if they kind of build something out of that, all right, let's do that.
It could definitely happen, but I feel like we need the crossovers this season are supposed to be kind of episode 8-ish for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was what they pitched earlier, and you would just need more time than that. But it's a fantastic idea for a little while from now.
Yeah,
like especially if you spent like this year, John Jones is great team member. You set him up at the end of next year to be a kind of a douchebag, and then you make him evil for like 8 episodes of Supergirl, and then it ties into this new thing with.
I'm way more interested in what he has done as a good guy, and the morally gray areas that he's dipped into as a good guy.
Oh, there's a
than
lot
him just becoming evil.
Yeah, like head of that agency and all the things you have to deal with. There's a lot more to deal with. But if you took him over the top and tucked him in, yeah, you could make it even maybe next year. But I think you've still got more material to play with before that.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Scott DC27 over at Twitter. Scott of the Suicide Squadcast says, with the news of the Gotham by Gaslight animated movie, what are your top 3 each? We each have to come up with 3.
Oh, dear Lord.
What's your top 3 each wish list for future Elseworlds movies? What you got, man?
All right. All right, the recent Darkseid War is actually going to be in somewhere in my top 3.
Yeah, but that's mainstream, not Elseworlds.
Oh, all Elseworlds? Jesus.
Can I just make it easy and say Superman Red Sun?
That's going to be our number 1 across the board.
I mean, Superman Red Sun and Kingdom Come, those are going to be top 2, probably?
Actually, it's a good point. Like, how much is Hush considered Elseworld?
Hush was mainstream.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he tied in too much.
So if we're going Elseworlds, I'm probably going to say Kingdom Come. I'm going to say Superman Red Sun. Gosh.
I mean, there's stuff I would love to say, like All-Star and whatnot, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would love to see All-Star and Dark Knight Strikes Again and Master Race and Last Crusade. Like, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, animated to just flesh it all out and, like, finish it up.
Sure.
But, barring those... I know. What was the name of that? What was the name of the one where Superman was Batman? I don't remember the name of it now. Oh, I need to know it.
I don't know. I remember that as a world's greatest.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Animated story.
Well, you're talking about Nighttime from Superman the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
I am not. This was a bit where like Superman crash landed in Gotham, and oh gosh, he was Batman, like essentially. Oh, what was it called? I'm looking it up now. I don't even know.
Oh, you know what you really want?
What do I really want?
And this is one of those where
the freaking nail. I want.
Yes, that's the one I was gonna say. It's like you really want the nail. That's the one you really want. And I want it too. And I just I haven't read that one yet, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Justice League: The Nail is a phenomenal book. I'd love to see Batman Thrill Killer. I'd love to see a lot of that stuff, man. I really like the Elseworlds stuff. I really like the idea. Like back when I was growing up, man, the DC Elseworlds and the Marvel What Ifs were just like mother's milk. They were amazing. I was just like, oh, these are the books where anything could happen.
Right.
Oh man. Gosh.
Actually, honestly, I could probably think of 20 different little stories in the black and white series of Batman.
I got it. It's Superman Speeding Bullets. That's what it was called.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, here's the plot via Wikipedia here. Baby Kal-El crashes into Earth, where he is discovered by Thomas and Martha Wayne. The couple decide to adopt Kal-El and name him Bruce. One night, Thomas and Martha are gunned down by a mugger. Bruce incinerates the mugger with his heat vision and discovers his superpowers, but it is too late to save his parents. He decides to hide his powers in shame. Bruce decides to create a secret identity for himself many years later. As the Batman, he begins to brutally strike back at the criminals in Gotham. Meanwhile, criminal Lex Luthor is on the run and is caught in a horribly disfiguring accident. Lex becomes this dimension's version of the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker. Bruce is eventually persuaded by Lois Lane and the more hopeful superhero is needed than his dark, violent Batman persona, giving rise to his new, more heroic identity of Superman. That was a cool thought. That was a cool story. I read it years and years and years ago. It looked like it was, published in 93. So, I couldn't remember Speeding Bullets for the life of me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty great. Again, though, black and white in general, you can flip through that series of stories and probably find at least a dozen things that are worth it. A DC animated film.
Yeah. Oh, we could do JLA Destiny. That was one where Batman and Superman never happened, and Thomas Wayne made his own Justice League. I do have a vague remembrance of that one being pretty good. But yeah, Kingdom Come is going to be probably top of my list, honestly.
I would honestly fight between that and Red Sun. As far as...
yeah.
If you gave it to me as an animated film and told me to, I don't know, make a story that doesn't require... I think you could condense Red Sun to an animated story a little bit better than you could Kingdom Come. Because Kingdom Come is a thick story. Red Sun is too, but it has a lot of nuances that you could a little bit forgive and take out and still get mainly what you were talking about. But Kingdom Come has so many nuances that are absurdly important.
Oh, Son of Superman's good too.
I know that one.
Yeah, that's
remind me.
That's when Lex Luthor, Superman's dead. Lex Luthor's taking control of the Justice League. Lois has a kid, and he's just now figuring out his superpowers, and he basically becomes the son of Superman. Superman was literally his dad.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is. Also, God, so much to hit. I'd love more time to research that one before.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's what you get.
Yeah. All right. Let's move it on, I guess. You got more than 3, Scott. Kind of. Actually, that's all we have.
All right, so moving on to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. That has to happen.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. We're proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com, for all the awesome shows over that way. And we're going to be coming back next week. And Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those things, DC On Screen. You can find us. You can come talk to us. We'll throw your name out there on the show. And I don't know, that'll be a fun time, I suppose. If you like to hear your handle thrown out there. It's kind of a weird way to put that.
I wonder if there's going to be a point where we don't realize that's strange. Your handle. Yeah, totally. Technical reference. Gotcha.
Yeah, right. Anyway, guys, until next week, keep some DC on your screen. Oh, and because I never remember, if you want to call us and leave us a voicemail, you can call us at 205-259-6331. Keep some DC on your screen, as I said previously.